Yep. He's down.
Where will he stop? Am I in the way?
He'll probably stop out there. I don't know that he'll try to turn. He may try to turn.
I don't see him yet.
Right here in front of you, honey.
Oh, shoot.
That's a nice glide.
Is it okay?
Oh yeah. It's got a little bit of a left turn. If you fly it hands off, it just gradually leans left.
Okay.
I mean, it's not. I flew it a long time and it seemed to sort of stabilize in about a 20 to 25 degree left turn. Seemed to want to just do that, so you might be able to play with your ailerons a little bit. I don't know. I wouldn't worry about it. I mean,
Are we towing again, somebody?
no, I don't need to.
Anybody else?
No.
That's it? Just supervising today?
It's beautiful. I mean, it just flies beautiful. I played with the trim at 80 knots. It's about where you see it now. It's just a little bit forward of vertical on this green tab. And with 1 notch of flaps, didn't change. Speed stayed the same. The glide got a little better. And with 2 knots, I couldn't tell the difference between 1 notch of flaps at 80 knots and 2 knots. And I took it up to 100 knots, and it's just light as a feather on the controls. Now I did feel that little bit of bind on the rudder when right before I gave the takeoff signal, or right as I was giving it. On the right rudder, there's just a little catch when you start your motion. It may be the cable's hanging up on something somewhere. It doesn't do it all the time. It only does it once or twice, but I did notice that. So I don't think it's anything to worry about. It's beautiful. It's not super sensitive in pitch.
It is.
And I've never flown a parallelogram stick before, but there's nothing to it. It's just beautiful. I came in, I didn't use any flaps for the landing, just dive brake, and I held 60 on the approach, and I had probably that much sticking up for the landing, and it felt about the same kind of glide path as the Grove does, with a couple 3 inches sticking up. But you can probably, if you come in with full, I just wouldn't dial in full landing flap until you're absolutely sure you have the runway made. I don't think it's going to affect the Oliver D that much because they don't go down that far. But it does give you more surface out there when you get the full spoiler, and you can maybe keep your approach speeds a little slower. I mean, this thing says minimum approach is 46 knots. I would never come in that. So 50 maybe with flaps. Okay.
But
But
indicator
seemed to work just fine. The mechanical vario is in meters per second, I think. I found a great wave up there. I was climbing like a son of a gun. I climbed about 800 feet right off toe. But then I just wanted to bring it out a little bit. Stall is very docile at about 40 knots. I didn't do a real steep pitch up because I didn't know what it is. But I couldn't tell that it seemed at all tail heavy. It didn't seem at all tail heavy to me. It seemed to have plenty of pitch authority throughout. Even as it was stalled, I mean, I pushed it over and it nosed right over very quickly. So, but it's a beautiful flying bird. It's really comfortable. I'm thick this way, so I think if I were to fly this again, I would take the seat cushion out, just so I sat a little bit lower, because this is really tight on my legs here. I mean, it's not pushing down on, but I don't have much room, and when I want to shorten the rudder pedals to get a little more purchase on the brake, the brake works fine, by the way. Does it? Seems to work just fine. It works better in my LS4 brake, which is a heel brake, same sort of setup. But you might want to just shorten the pedals up a little bit so you get a little more purchase on those brakes. Apart from that, it just flies great. It's very quiet. Is it? Very quiet. Yeah. So, got yourself a nice bird there.
Thank you, Rick.
I don't know what Fidel can do as far as that left turning tendency, but it's hardly noticeable.
but it is.
But it definitely did it at all speeds. It's more pronounced at higher speeds. Okay. So
I'm telling when he repaired that aileron, he put too much on it.
there you go. Put
I'm making
20 pounds of lead in the right wing.
Tape a little poker card on the other wing.
Okay. There you go, a little drag back on this.
All right, guys. Well.
Thank you very much, Rick.
We'll, put her in
Oh
and
man,
come
you know,
see
I had a little trepidation.